So it's no secret that online dating is rough, it's mentally draining, and many guys often just give up on it. It's so true that the odds are stacked against you as a normal man, and I get that. When I was single in my 20s, I was grinding the dating apps. I was swiping, revising, going on dates, and it got exhausting at times. Overall, I call my online dating stint a very difficult yet positive experience because I became obsessed with beating the system that was rigged against me because rejection is abundant. So, how can we tip the scales in our favor to get more matches, more dates, with little improvements here and there? And that's what this video is about. How can we online date efficiently and maximize results, and how doing things in real life actually increases your chances of success in the online world. Data does show that online dating for men is much harder than our female counterparts, but it's still very much possible, especially if you're a person who's obsessed with improving in real life, as it'll translate to success in the dating world as well. In this process, I learned a lot about myself, and after some time, I had some success doing this. I was getting more dates, I was getting high quality dates, which made me better at dating before eventually meeting my partner in real life. And even though I didn't meet her online, I'd honestly say about half of my friends have met their current partner or even their future wife online. So online dating is just too big to ignore. And I learned a lot from this experience and got just much better at dating in general and knowing what I want out of someone and what to do, which helped lead me to the path that I'm on now. All this is to say that online dating is doable and it can help you find the right person. And here's the thing about me. I'm okay looking, but I'm not turning heads when I walk into a room. Like I'm a 6 at best, maybe a 6.5. So nothing special looks wise. And I'm 5'11", but I'm pushing 6 foot with the right shoes on. So obviously I put that I'm 6 foot or 6'1" in my profile. But with me, as with most watching this, we may not be the best looking, but we're good enough to work with. So let's go get it, gentlemen. So the unfortunate reality is, like, if you really want to meet your partner and if that's what you want, that's your goal, you can't ignore online dating anymore. Because I've just met so many people, almost too many people who have had success in dating apps meeting their partner, and a lot of them are pretty average looking guys too. A significant percentage of people meet their partner online nowadays. I believe it's over 50%. And it's as much as people hate it, it's too big to ignore. If this is your goal to meet someone, it's a wise thing to have an online presence, especially if you're single. There are ways that you can do it to make it as easy and efficient as possible. Because, without an online presence, I simply would have met way less people and had less dates and opportunities. So today I'm going to talk about my strategy that I use to be able to get a good amount of dates online using the dating apps like Hinge, using social media like Instagram, as well as doing real life things and how this actually increases your chances on the online apps. And all this I learned just while I was single through trial and error. And we'll just discuss my plan of attack so you can learn from my mistakes. I'd love to save you some pain and some time. And another thing I've also noticed is that there are just so many obvious mistakes that guys make doing this, and it's hurting their chances and making it infinitely harder to get good dates in the online world. A lot of it's very fixable. Online dating is so similar to many things in life, like starting a YouTube, looking for a job, landing a client. It's like literally the same mentality. You present yourself well initially, then you play the numbers game and optimize the number of attempts you get. And then you just deliver on your promise. You go on dates, you improve a little bit with each failure until you win, which in this case just means finding an amazing person to have a relationship with. Because the reality is that it just takes one good day, one good moment, or one match to turn it all around. So you got to just tell yourself that it can happen at any time, which is true, and I've seen it happen over and over again. So back when I was single, the question for me always was, how can you get the highest number of high quality dates you can? And high quality date, the definition of that will vary from person to person, depending on your background, your beliefs, your standards. For me, here's my criteria for dates when just looking at their online profiles. Number one, like attractiveness. Like there has to be some attraction. Like for me to swipe, they don't need to be a supermodel, but attraction has to exist. That's absolutely critical. The next part for me was that they were not a partier or posting revealing pictures online, because to me that revealed like poorer values, and that's just not what I'm looking for as I want to settle down. Like that's for the 21-year-olds to do. They can go to these parties, but not me. I was also looking for a Christian to have value alignment with me and my religious views, as well as either moderate or conservative political views, because I had too many bad relationships dating people with other political views, and I wanted to find someone who thought and approached world problems in the way that I do. And I'm not hating at all on those who don't fit that criteria. It's just simply my preferences. Like this list will look different for you, and you might need to trade off and sacrifice some of it, as very rarely will people meet all the criteria. So identify what you want out of this and then make a plan for finding these types of people, not only online, but in real life. The biggest mistake that people make is not putting enough work into making a good profile. People will literally spend 10 minutes finding some shitty pictures of themselves that are blurry, they don't show you in the best lighting. You're doing activities that women might not find attractive, and you're just not putting any funny jokes or effort into the text of your profile. Sometimes, like sitting down with friends, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not getting any dates on the apps," and I'll ask to see their profile, and it's like, well, no wonder, it's a blurry picture of them where you can hardly see their face, maybe with a fish or a bloody animal that they just shot. Some very, boring, generic text and a picture of them with their sister, who women are going to just think is their ex-girlfriend, and just pictures that don't make them look good. Like, details matter here. Put some effort into the profile. Even if you're not attractive, put the odds in your favor by taking the best pictures you can, like pictures of you doing cool things, funny jokes that say a little bit about who you are. I literally made my sister come with me one morning for a photo op where I was literally just taking pictures for my dating profile. Like that's sometimes what you have to do. Put pictures with dogs, which shows to boost match percentages. Post pictures of you doing cool things like a traveling adventure, or you playing a sport. And put time into the jokes. Like, think of something that's funny that people could learn a little bit about you from. I probably got more matches from the jokes that I put in my text in my profile than my actual pictures. Like, I remember I made a joke about preferring Culver's as opposed to a fancy restaurant. And Culver's is just a cheap Midwest burger place that's very popular in Wisconsin. And that line absolutely cleaned up with the amount of people swiped up saying they're ready for a Culver's date. But the most important part of a good profile is having a good first image, like your best one, the money one, a clear image of your face and general, body, general figure. Studies show that between 70 and 90% of swipe decisions happen within the first 1 to 3 seconds. So making this first photo good is critical, as it's likely what they're going to base their entire decision off of most of the time. It'll give them an honest look at what they're working with. And don't be deceptive, but, a little editing never hurts anyone, especially on our side. Like, if they can edit their photos, damn it, we can too. Your online profile is like your thumbnails on YouTube. Like, you got to put a lot of effort in to make it as good as possible, because simple changes can get you 10 to 20% more matches, which gives you a better chance at the game if you have more good opportunities. I mean, people spend a ton of time on their, websites, on their thumbnails, on just the way they present themselves, because it matters. It's the most important way to get the numbers to work for you. So make a good profile, spend time on this, and it'll bring more people through the door. So for me, I found that Hinge and Bumble to be better to get more serious matches and people looking for relationships than Tinder, which seemed to favor more of a hookup culture and people just looking for a good time. I also found that Instagram to be a huge dating app as well, especially if you're active on it and have a network on it. So my recommendation is to have a plan of attack for both dating apps, social media, and real life things, all three. And this will give you the best chance to succeed. So before we get into that, let's talk about optimizing the numbers game, because dating really is just like finding a job or going fishing, right? Have as many options as possible open, because you never know which one's going to hit, and it just takes one time to get lucky. So the next fun and maybe kind of disappointing part is deciding who you're going to swipe on. And for me, filters can be very helpful. For me, I filtered for an age range of just someone in their 20s, Christians only, and people with moderate and conservative political views. And there are a variety of factors in a profile as well that were immediate swipe left if I saw, and that'll vary from person to person. And again, I'm not hating. Like, people can believe what they want to believe. It just doesn't mean I have to believe it, and we all have preferences for what we want in a partner. You can do more advanced filters as well, like for heights and other things. But I would say don't get too picky, because you never know who you could end up loving, even if they don't fit your traditional image of what someone should be like in your head. So be a little open-minded. So the next part is kind of just the grinding part, right? You got to be active on these apps, which could wear you down. So definitely take breaks and stuff, but use up your free likes per day. Be consistent and be intentional with the people you do like and the people you don't. And if you don't see yourself going on a date with someone, like don't like their profile. Make a playful joke about a photo or some text on their profile. And for me, just don't make anything too serious, nothing too crazy at the same time, and expect a low match rate. Like, you're not going to get many matches as a normal guy. Just get that in your head. And also on free tiers, you do get like limited likes. And I was one of those people that refused to pay given my cheapness, but I also have found it interesting, because like, people will pay tens of thousands of dollars to go to college, or hundreds of dollars on a lot of dumb things, but then they won't spend $10 a month to meet more people online when who you find in your life might be the most important decision you make. And people just seem very reluctant to spend money here. And I get it, right? Because dates are expensive as a guy, and you should probably be paying for the first few just to make a strong impression. But, then feel it out from there. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Just know that it's a pure numbers game. Hundreds of swipes, a small percent of matches, and from that, you see who you can go on a date with. So now let's say you have a good profile across multiple platforms and you're getting matches and potential prospects. Great. Now you have to close the deal, aka get a date. I would say for this, you got to match their texting energy. Like, don't be afraid to reach out, and also don't be afraid to respond in a reasonable time horizon. Assuming you're an average guy like me, you need to get their attention in the first 24 hours, I'd say, of matching with them, and not wait days to reply, which, will likely lose their interest. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to spend forever just having meaningless conversation and messaging about dumb crap on dating apps. If you have connection and interest in some banter just talking about profiles, like within a few days, I would say, look, I'm interested in getting to know you further. I'd love to take you to dinner, a coffee, a drink. Send me your number if you're interested. Don't wait too long for this, but also don't do it too soon. And I would also pretend to be busy. Say, I got some travels coming up this week, but I'd love to get you to know you more next week or the week after, just stuff like that. You can also gauge their interest pretty well in their efforts to keep the conversation going. If they're giving you non-answers or just waiting way too long, maybe cut it off and put your energy towards some people that are reciprocating your energy. Getting them off the apps and getting it into dates is a matter of being able to make a move quickly and at the right time. And this is something you'll learn through trial and error. So this next part is among my favorite ways to get dates and honestly the most underrated, and this is Instagram. It all goes down in the DMs. If you have an Instagram profile with a good community by adding your friends from your hometown, from school, from university, or even some from work that you get along with, you have a good social network and social proof built in, which is huge. People can see who you know, see that you're a normal person with friends, and maybe even have some mutual friends. And on top of that, your social media should be almost a highlight reel of just stuff you enjoy doing, like traveling, sports, hanging out with friends and family, and just a shallow reflection of who you are. And there's no problem with that. I also see no issue with adding someone that you kind of know, like in a friend of a friend way, and maybe you met them one time, maybe one of your friends is close with them, but you don't really know them, like that type of person. It's socially acceptable to do this and just to get them to know that you exist. There's absolutely no issues with adding an attractive lady who's just friends with one of your friends. From there, just use the app once in a while. Like if you're doing something cool, make an Instagram story about it. It's kind of a gauge on who's interested. Like when you have a bunch of people added that you kind of know that you'd be interested in, sometimes they swipe up and reply to your stories or reach out, and you can do the same to them. I got a few dates this way from just people I had no idea would be interested in me, just because I acted like I was doing cool things, and they even reached out to me, which was awesome. And if someone you might be interested makes a story or post of something you're interested in, could be like going to a Bucks game, an event you like, swipe up on their story, slide into their DMs, and just see if they're receptive to conversation. I remember I would do this with if someone made like a post about, like a Packers game or rock climbing. I would swipe up and say, no way, I was just there the other day. How'd you like it? And it could be a complete lie, but that doesn't matter. Conversation started. Now it's up to you where to take it. You can usually tell if someone's interested in continuing just based on if they're asking questions back or giving you a lot to work with. And if they're uninterested answers, like, oh well, move on to the next one. You kind of have to be aggressive and go for what we want in life. And I became almost ruthlessly unafraid of rejection after a while. Here's another strategy that also got me a few dates. Like, you need to complement your online presence with real life. Like, go to things and meet real people. What I would do is I'd attend workout classes, gyms, church events, and became a regular here eventually. And because of this, I would make what I call weak connections, which means you maybe met someone one time, or you see them somewhere, casual wave as you go through the hallway. You don't even really know them that well beyond their first name or if they're dating or single, and maybe you just know some basic things about them. But then boom, you run into them on the app. These are money because they know you have something in common, and you know they're single. And it's a perfect time to hit them with a, oh, fancy seeing you here joke. Swipe up and good luck. And you don't even need to go through the nerve-wracking endeavor of asking for the number in person with this strategy. It's great. People are much more likely to swipe on you as a normal person if they know you exist in real life, and they're also more open to being patient with you if you are an idiot on the dating apps. They won't ghost you as much. I got a good amount of dates from these weak connections. Someone I met, once at a church group and then found them on the app to start a conversation, or someone that I knew, like one of their good friends, and they knew I existed. Like, could be someone I knew a long time ago, but I had no idea that they lived near me or they were single. So do things in real life, and this will help you in the online world. So once you're on the date, my favorite first dates were active ones. Pickleball, bowling, going for a walk after getting a coffee, stuff like that can be fun and low pressure. And this is good if you're nervous for your first few dates and the conversations because it gives you something to talk about and take the attention off each other. But if you're confident in your conversation, I did really like dinner or drinks as well, although many people don't like that as a first date. Those became my go-to after a while. And then when you're there, ask them questions, show interest, and don't have it be a bot-like interview. Like, just see what you have in common. And this is one thing that you'll improve over time and over failures. Like, I could not talk to women when I was 18, and people thought I was super awkward. But by my mid-20s, because I'd done so much, I was just confident in my ability to entertain, only with words. And of course, be a gentleman, be respectful, and show them you can be trusted, and pay for a few dates to make a good impression. And if you get rejected, take it with class. Don't have high expectations of any date or get your hopes up because this is where you'll get burned. So my final words is don't get discouraged because online dating's tough and I get it, but it can be done. So identify where your problems are and improve. If it's an effort thing, put in the effort, get out there. If you're not getting matches, make a better profile. If you're getting dates but you're not going further, maybe you just need to improve your conversations, your dates, your style, and just improve a little bit each time. If you're improving who you are, the dates will become easier and easier. Tip the scales in your favor. Let me know if you agree with this advice and how it goes for you. You got this, and remember, it only takes one to change your life. Catch you in the next one.